Choice Band Meowscarada and Moxie Life Orb Salamence was able to win one of the first online Regulation H tournaments. We're going to be trying out a recreation of this team and seeing how well it can perform. This is a Meowscarada Salamence rain team that did well and won the first Regulation H online tournament. We have quite a few standard Pokemon that you would expect to do really well in this format, and it has a lot of powerful tricks. We have the Pelipper and the Archaludon combination. The rain from Pelipper able to allow Archaludon to just go for those electro shots without having to charge and boost its special attack. Incredibly strong combination. You have Wide Guard because there's actually quite a few spread moves in the format, and for instance, the Expanding Force is able to do a lot of damage, make it rain from opposing Golden Go. There are quite a few, so having Wide Guard still nice, and then Tailwind as well instead of Protect, just for some more speed control, while Hurricane and Weather Ball are able to do quite a bit. The Archaludon, this one, just able to be really bulky, just able to set up with the Electro Shot, and even with the Stamina Body Press if you need to, able to do a lot of damage, and it's just one of the biggest threats in Regulation H. It is such a strong Pokemon in this format, especially with no Urshifus that are able to threaten it with critical hits and the close combats as well. The Golden Go running a choice specs just for more offense, able to do a lot with its coverage and have the Focus Blast for the King Gambit, and opposing steel types like Archaludon can be pretty nice if you need a way to OHKO it and really need to get rid of it as soon as possible. The Incineroar, a great pivot Pokemon, of course. Intimidate, Safety Goggles, not really too surprising. The Meowscarada with Choice Band is just a very fast Pokemon that's able to do a lot of damage with that flower trick and then U-turn. Protean is interesting on Meowscarada, mainly because you don't have the Overgrow to boost, although this Meowscarada is not carrying Focus Sash, and Meowscarada is generally a frail Pokemon, so it's not too much of a loss. It can be a double-edged sword, however, because you do have the Protean, which is able to change into one type, which isn't too bad on a choice set because you are locking into one move and you will have that same type attack bonus no matter what, but you might get rid of some of the immunities. For instance, if you lock into a dark type move, you do lose your grass typing, which means you could get affected by Spore and Rage Powder, for instance. Or in some cases as well, it can be beneficial because you might be able to get rid of like a 4x weakness or just a weakness in general to a typing, and it can actually help you out. For instance, if you do transform into dark typing, you do get rid of any weaknesses you had as a grass type originally. So it does have some helpful situations, but also some hurtful situations as well. And then this Salamence, which is a really interesting tech on this team. We have the Stellar Terra type with the Moxie, because you don't really need double Intimidate with Incineroar. So just having a Moxie Salamence, it also helps because King Gambit can be threatening in this format. So you don't want to have double Intimidate pressuring a King Gambit, which this team has only really the Archaludon as one of your best answers to King Gambit, or you go for Focus Blast with Golden Go. This one is able to help out with the really strong flying coverage with dual wing beats. Outrage is really nice in this format. A lot of Fire, Water, Grass cores out there. A Temper Flare, which is an interesting move, but having that Fire Stomping Tantrum seems pretty nice to hit some Pokemon. And then the Protect on the Salamence as a standard. If you would like to check out the details of the team, they will be linked in the description down below. All right, Ursaluna, Farigiraf, Incineroar, Sylveon, Chestnut, and Amoonguss. Flying coverage seems good, so Pelipper and Salamence seem really strong here. Sylveon's a little bit scary. I don't think Meowscarada does that much in this matchup, I would say. I like Incineroar. I think Incineroar Golden Go is pretty strong. Yeah, I think Incineroar plus Golden Go is really strong here. Have the Pelipper and Salamence in the back. I could bring Archaludon over Golden Go though, but it does make me weaker to Amoonguss. It makes me stronger against Ursaluna, which is why I considered it, but I'm not 100% certain. Like, I could have seen myself going either way, because Ursaluna regular form is just going to be a threat under Trick Room. But I do have a few tools against it, especially because I have the Ghost switch in Golden Go and then the combination of Salamence. We're going to see the Ursaluna plus the Farigiraf, which is a interesting lead here for my opponent because it's a very risky. Because I can just go for a knockoff, make it rain into the Farigiraf slot and do a ton of damage. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, I think. I don't really feel there's anything specific here that I just want to. Like, Make It Rain's going to do a lot to Ursaluna. If they stay in an attack, that's okay. And they'll take a lot of damage regardless. Pressuring the Farigiraf, I think, is pretty valuable. You have to be scared if I knock off the Ursaluna and you do attack, because then that is getting rid of your Flame Orb, and that makes Ursaluna a lot less potent as a sweeper, especially means it probably won't be doing any damage to my Salamence. So this is a pretty rough spot. They can go into Incineroar, but they're taking a lot of damage from Make It Rain immediately. We're going to see the Ursaluna protect, and yeah, it looks like they have to sack the Farigg, and unless it's a Citrus Berry and lives to knock off Make It Rain combination, maybe. And then I can play around and pivot. We'll see. Make It Rain going to come out into Farigg. I guess I could have Terra'd, but I didn't really think I needed to commit it. And yeah, looks like we get the double knockout into Farigg. I assume it was maybe... Well, we'll find out the item right here. Goggles? Could be Throat Spray? It's Mental Herb on the Farigg. Okay, that makes sense for taunts. The Ursaluna is now burned, but... No Trick Room is pretty bad if you are a Ursaluna. We're going to see Incineroar come in, which makes sense, okay? So I don't mind that. Do I want to save Golden Go for the Sylveon always. I have double flying, so I don't see why I just don't go in my flying types now. I don't think... If you're clicking Facade, it'd be into Incineroar. Yet I feel like you're more likely to click Headlong Rush into the Golden Go. But we'll see. If you Facade the Salamence, not the worst thing in the world. Intimidate would be kind of nice here, but I don't think it's too bad. We have a few options that we could go for the next turn, like just going back into our Golden Go on a Facade, potentially. We could attack. I think there isn't too much of a downside to attacking. But yeah, they have to go for, like, I think here, as long as they don't, fake out Facade my Golden Go switch, which they could. But even then, I think I'm okay with that. Fake Out going to go out into Salamence, and we're going to see the High Horsepower come out. Not even Headlong Rush into the Salamence as well. So ended up covering both plays, and it really worked out. I also could have Terra Ghost in my Incineroar there too. So I still have a backup as well. I'm just going to switch out the Salamence, I think, because what are your switch-ins here? Amoonguss, which I can just Hurricane the following turn. Actually, would you want to... Actually, you'd probably switch out Incineroar, right? Because an issue that you have here is that I don't think the Ursaluna is a threat without Trick Room. I just don't think it is. I think I'm just going to double up the Incineroar and just try to pin it. First, the Ursaluna retreat, which makes sense here because it is threatened by a Weather Ball. Amoonguss is going to come in. I tried to catch like a Terra Grass or an Amoonguss switch, so that's why I did the dual Wing Beat play into the Incineroar. Get the 10% dodge, but Weather Ball should be enough to KO Incineroar probably here. It's in the rain from Modest Pelipper. It does KO the Incineroar, and that just picks up a knockout. Beautiful. And yeah, Pelipper is just looking so good here. And I mean so good. So we're going to see Ursaluna come in once again. I think we're okay for the most part. I think I just go into gold. There are a few plays I could do here. I could go for dual Wing Beats plus Weather Ball. There is Protect Spore Mine games and then Protect the Amoonguss and attack. I think my safest play is just to dual Wing Beats the Amoonguss and go out in a Golden Go on the Pelipper slot, because you probably are just going to go for the normal type Facade move or Spore. I think this is Protect Spore from Ursaluna and Spore the Pelipper, or they're just going to attack the Pelipper slot, because I think Pelipper is the biggest threat here. We're going to see a Terra, which makes sense. Terra on Amoonguss would make a lot of sense here. We are also just going to see the Ursaluna. I guess I could have doubled it. That is a Terra normal Ursaluna. All right. That is fine. We're pretty good position-wise. We're going to see Rage Powder. That is excellent for me, because I did go for a good dual Wing Beats. Hopefully get some pretty good damage off. We do get the dual Wing Beats off into Amoonguss. We're taking a lot of recoil from the Life Orb and the Rocky Helmet, but still pretty solid damage to Amoonguss regardless. And now it's in the Make It Rain range. And let's see what the Ursaluna goes for. It went for Facade. It did get the target right. It does go into Salamence, but at this point, I don't really see too much of an issue here. Yep, I think with Focus Sash, Pelipper, the Amoonguss being too low, I have a Make It Rain that is very strong here. I should just have this game sealed up. So I am going to go out into Incineroar to lock this up. Click Fake Out into the Ursaluna, and then Make It Rain, KO the Amoonguss, and knock off the Ursaluna the following turn. They go for double protect, that's fine. But yeah, we should be 100% guaranteed the victory here. Let me see. What could have they done? They had an Amoonguss. I think just their lead was not good. I think their lead was really rough for them because unless they had a specific Terra involved, Make It Rain was doing a lot. Maybe it could have been like water or fire on the Farigiraf. Maybe I should have went for the Terra, but they committed the Terra onto the Farigiraf. I felt like I could still pivot around because again, I did bring double ground weak as the start of the lead, and that's because I had flying types in the back. I could just pivot around. So that's the thing about Ursaluna, like this regular Ursaluna. It doesn't have like a super strong move. Earthquake's like your strongest move, but Grassy Terrain's so common that it doesn't really want to run it anymore. So yeah, there really isn't much to say here. Just go for a knockoff, go for a choice specs, Terra Steel, Make It Rain. This might just oak up. But yeah, otherwise I felt like just being able to pivot around Ursaluna is really nice. And that's kind of weakness of regular Ursaluna is you have to get a lot of target calls right, because it's very easy to pivot around. With ghost types being pretty good in the format, we have flying types that are pretty good. It does take the Make It Rain, but knockoff will finish it off, and if not, burn would have. So goodbye Ursaluna. And yeah, not much to say. I felt like that's the thing about relying on this Trick Room as well. They relied heavily on Trick Room. I feel like maybe they should have went Incineroar, absorbed to Make It Rain, and then they could have been healthier for the Farigiraf to set up Trick Room maybe later in the game. I feel like just risking Farigiraf turn 1 is really not great for them. Kilowattrel, Garchomp, Incineroar, King Gambit, Amoonguss, and Primarina. Okay, Garchomp and Kilowattrel seem like a really cool combination. Disquake with Discharge from the Kilowattrel and Earthquake could be pretty scary, especially with Wind Power, if that's the case here. Could also be Volt Absorb, but there aren't that many electric types in the format. King Gambit stuff, it seems manageable. I think Arcaludon's really good, especially because it gives King Gambit a lot of trouble and does put on a lot of pressure. Garchomp plus King Gambit is actually a little bit scary overall, but I should be able to manage. I think Arcaludon's definitely being brought. Golden goes nice for Amoonguss and somewhat Primarina, but not really the rest. I think Pelipper's okay. Water Ball Hurricane seems pretty strong, but I do gotta watch out because that does power up the Primarina. I do want to bring Incineroar, but not as a lead because King Gambit's really scary. I actually kind of like Salamence plus Arcaludon. Lane Double Dragon's a little bit weird because of the Primarina, but I still think it's okay. Not bringing a Pelipper for the Arcaludon's a little bit strange, but I think I don't need Electro Shot to sweep this team. I'm mainly bringing it for the King Gambit. I can beat the Primarina with the Meowscarada, or at least force it to Terra. So let's see what we can do. A lot of this is just going to come down to how well I can position against the threats. And I think the main threats are just going to be specifically King Gambit and Primarina. Garchomp can also be a bit scary if it is brought. We'll see if that happens. But let's see what they decide to lead here. Going to be Primarina and Amoonguss. Okay. Versus Arcaludon and Salamence. Not terrible, not the best lead. So I have a few options. This problem is they're clicking Moonblast and not the Hyper Voice, which means it's hard to switch into. I do have a way to KO. Is it worth sacking the Salamence here to take the K? If I sacrifice my Salamence, how bad is it? I don't think it's awful because KOing Amoonguss would be really good. Because I could like Electro Shot into the Primarina, and I can go for Terra Stellar Dual Wing Beats. If the Amoonguss protects though, we're in a lot of trouble. But they also could be scared of like a Pelipper switching an Electro Shot. You know what? We're gonna have some fun and we're gonna risk it here. I am gonna risk my Salamence, which I also think that they might be more fearful of Arcaludon because Arcaludon's a really big threat, but we'll see. I go for the Terra Stellar to guarantee the KO and Amoonguss with Dual Wing Beats if they don't Terra. Primarina protects. If they both double protect, this is amazing for me. And even if they don't, this still works out. And it looks like my gamble paid off as I do get the Dual Wing Beats off into Amoonguss. I think they want to try to Spore there and go for a... Yeah, I think they want to Spore there and go expecting like a Pelipper switch and an Arcaludon Electro Shot. That ended up working out really well for me. I get the Moxie boost on top of it. I get a bit of Life Orb chip, but overall, the Electro Shot is charging up. No rain, just trying to pressure the Primarina. And now I can double up the Primarina next turn with... I'm going to go for a Temper Flare, I think. It depends on who comes out. Like, Garchomp could come out. King Gambit's fine. Mungus is gone. Garchomp comes out. That's A-okay. I guess if they actually do have Volt Absorb, that's a bit weird. Because the switching opportunity is awkward. Do I think they run Dragon Claw? I think that's a good question. Because I have no idea. They could also be Clear Amulet as well. I could just go for Temper Flare. I'm not too worried about Garchomp. I'm more worried about a Terra Primarina. I think I'm going to go for Temper Flare. Because I'm trying to cover for a Terra Grass option. We're going to see the Primarina retreat. Okay, is this Kilowattrel? Oh, it's Incineroar. I was not expecting Incineroar as the last. Okay. Depends heavily on this Garchomp then. And its moveset. Garchomp going to protect. Okay, so I got free damage into Incineroar. We take those. We take those very nicely. As we will go for the Temper Flare. We are neutral, but not bad. Not bad damage into Incineroar with the combination of this Electro Shot, because this is also going to hurt the Incineroar quite a bit. I think going to my own Incineroar is pretty good. Yeah, really good damage to Incineroar, because that's just switching to the Meowscarada. They do heal back with a Citrus Berry, but sure. I think now I just want to go for a Draco Meteor into the Garchomp and to swap into my Incineroar. Because I want to get an Intimidate off into both of these. If it's not Clear Amulet Garchomp. I have a feeling it's probably Clear Amulet Garchomp. But I also have Fake Out Pressure for the Garchomp. Most likely they're going to go for a Fake Out. Maybe a Ground type move as well into our Caledon. If that's the case, I get +2 with Body Press. And then I can threaten the Incineroar with Body Press the next turn. And isolate the Garchomp and the Primarina with no switches that they have available to them. Of course, they could switch back in the Primarina, which is also a fair concern. Clear Amulet is Clear Amulet. Okay, good to know. All right, we see a Terra. Now, they shouldn't be a clicking Earthquake here. If they do, I mean, they lose their Incineroar, I guess. It is Terra Ground. Okay. It's Clear Amulet, but it's not Life Orb, so I don't think they KO, especially if they have to fake out the Arcaladon. Oh, they fake out the Salamence. Interesting. Okay. I went for Dragon Claw. Huh. Okay. I missed Draco Meteor. Sure. Sure. But you know what? I mean, I would have preferred hitting that Draco Meteor, but I guess I can just go for Draco Meteor and a Garchomp. They're now weak to Meowscarada, though. So this is actually not too bad. I might actually just go for a Draco Meteor into the Incineroar slot. And Fake Out. If they go Primarina, that's acceptable, I think. I'm just going to Fake Out Garchomp. Yeah. So Garchomp protects perfectly fine, because I think Meowscarada just wins this endgame. I do think Meowscarada just heavily wins this endgame. So I think this is really ideal. Assuming we land. Nice. Okay, so Incineroar should be going down here to the +1 Draco. Goodbye, Incineroar. We have a Meowscarada in the back with Flower Trick that just OHKOs everything. I guess I kind of have to be watching out for the Garchomp. But I'm not too concerned about it. Primarina comes in. I guess I might as well just retreat our Caledon here. I'm going to go into Salamence. I could end up losing both Pokemon though. I think it's okay trade-off wise. If I'm aiming to KO the Primarina with Flower Trick, my best play is always to knock off the Garchomp. I just gotta make sure that Meowscarada is safe when it comes in against the 2v1. So Swords Dance is a little bit scary. But otherwise, I think I'm okay. Bring in the Salamence. They go for a Dragon Claw. Good read on their part. Okay. I don't mind that. Again, the goal was to get some damage or setting up for a sweep here. They go for Hyper Voice. They're faster than me, which is actually not great. Okay. So Incineroar goes down. It might come down to a mind game with Flower Trick. All right, I go Meowscarada and I go Arcaladon. I think our Caladon can live one attack. The Primarina is actually pretty fast on their team. They might go down to Electroshot. I think my play is to Flower Trick. Oh wait, I have Protean, so what I don't have to worry about. Wait, does it work through Protect? I think I still does. I'm gonna Flower Trick the Garchomp and I'm gonna Electroshot the Primarina. Okay, they didn't protect at all, so I should win because I should KO the Garchomp. I was thinking, okay, I transform the Grass type even if they protect Garchomp and go for like a Moonblast into the Meowscarada, and I should be able to live one since I get rid of my Dark typing. And then, because I thought Primarina might protect and they go for Dragon Claw and then kind of make this a mind game the following turn. But it ended up working out. So Meowscarada cleaning up this endgame. Electroshots will charge up. Let's see if I was right. I mean, I guess Primarina could have an Ice move, but I think it's really unlikely you have an Ice move. Yeah, you just go for a Moonblast. Yeah, I do hang on, which I expected. Okay, perfect. And now I can just go for a Flower Trick into Primarina. The Electroshot's charging up, even if they protect a bunch of times. Eventually, they're going to get hit by this trick from Meowscarada and exit course stage. Perfect. Perfect. Turn 1 couldn't have gone any better. Like, it actually couldn't have gone any better, I think. Could have got a little bit weird depending on the Garchomp if it had Swords Dance. But I think with the Protean, it actually would have locked up the game. Assuming... because I keep forgetting this because it's been I haven't used a new Protean in forever, and I don't know if it's changed anything about changing your type when you attack and protect, but I'm pretty sure if you attempt to, it does. Yeah, we'll find out, I guess. Murkrow, Garchomp, Hydreigon, Volcarona, Goldengo, and Rotom Wash. Looks like Series 1, although I don't remember Volcarona was in Series 1. I think it was, actually. Okay. Let's see. Meowscarada is good offensively against Rotom Wash, Goldengo, NB Hydreigon, I guess, with U-Turn and Garchomp. Incineroar is really good here, of course. I do want to bring Incineroar. It's great against Volcarona, great against Goldengo. Garchomp, it depends on the item. It should be manageable. Do I want to bring Darkhalon? It's an okay mon. I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth it. It does give me quite a bit of switch-ins with Rain. Salamence is not bad against Volcarona as well, and can switch into Garchomp, especially if they don't have Dragon Claw. I kind of like Incineroar. Actually, you know what? I'll try Incineroar Meowscarada. It doesn't sound awful to me. A Pelipper as a switch, and you know what? Let's bring Salamence. Why not? I don't really like my own Goldengo. I think Goldengo is one of my weakest members against this, and our Caladon, I think, could have put in a lot of work. Although, if I'm mainly bringing it to beat Rotom Wash, I do have Meowscarada for that purpose. And I'm a little bit worried about, like, I don't know. I think our Caladon just had a little bit of struggle against Hydreigon. That's able to do a ton of damage. I do have Terra Fairy, but I don't know if I really want Terra Fairy to our Caladon in a matchup. We're going to see the Rotom Wash and the Murkrow. So, talk about perfect. Talk about perfect. I could go for a Fake Out and a Flower Trick. I don't know why they're Murkrow. I guess Haze is still pretty valuable, but we do have other Prankster Tailwind Mons in the format now. I do like the idea of just getting a Flower Trick off into the Rotom Wash and a Fake Out and a Murkrow. If they have to use their Terra on Rotom, I think it's really good. Yeah, so I think I just want to go for it. Hydro Pump is not ideal into Incineroar, but that's something we're going to have to, I guess, manage over time. Rotom's pretty big threat to my Pelipper and my Salamence. It's not really great against... well, my Salamence is not great against the Rotom, so I think pressure through with a Fake Out and a Flower Trick seems like the best option. I could have swapped out maybe into Salamence immediately, which might not be terrible, but I don't know if they're going to Tailwind with Murkrow or switch out or Terra Ghost. Let's see. Okay, Rotom just protects, which is okay. Is a Murkrow a Brave Bird? I do just get a free Fake Out off into Murkrow, which is nice. Okay. Great. Okay. Flower Trick attempt into the Rotom, and okay, yeah, there is the question of it does transform into type. I thought it did, so I was making sure I didn't misremember, but yeah, okay, perfect. So the last game was pretty sad. We can go out into our Salamence. on a potential Hydro Pump. And I am just going to go for Flower Trick into the Rotom. Don't see a reason really to Terra at the moment. Want to catch a potential Hydro Pump. And then we can go for Outrage. And Outrage is pretty strong into their team. I got to watch out about the Murkrow because I have no idea if the Murkrow runs Brave Bird or not on this. Salamence going to come in. They could go for a Willis too. We're going to see a Terra actually come out. All right, is this Rotom? Either way, Flower Trick is doing a lot of damage. We are going to see the Rotom actually go for the Terra. Okay. Terra Electric. All right. I hope that means it's... I don't think you're going for Thunderbolt. I think this is either Will-O-Wisp into Meowscarada or you're going for a Hydro Pump. Okay. They didn't actually go for a Tailwind, so this might actually be Brave Bird. That does so much damage. That actually almost knocked out the Rotom. Jeez. All right. Big damage to Rotom. Ult Switch into Meowscarada. Is this Brave Bird too? This might be Brave Bird. The way they're playing it seems like they're going for Brave Bird. As they attacked a Murkrow, and I don't see why you would attack with Murkrow if you didn't have Brave Bird. Garchomp comes out. Oh, Foul Play. What? Oh, because I'm Grass typing. I lost my Dark typing. Okay, that's one of the downsides to Protean. Ah, okay. I don't think this is... I mean, it's not great. This is not great now. Garchomp needs like Life Orb to KO Salamence, I think, with Dragon Claw. We have Incineroar that we could go into. Defensive typing would have been nice here, but not much. I think we go for... I kind of like the idea of just protecting the Salamence and going for a Weather Ball into the Garchomp. I'm not too scared of Foul Play. Murkrow can be scary, but I think we can manage. I'm just going to go for Weather Ball into Garchomp. I get a lot of damage off. If they have Rock Slide, I can go in and Incinerate the following turn, I think. You go for the Tailwind. All right, is this Dragon Claw? Nice. Okay, perfect. So it's Dragon Claw and the Salamence, and we get a huge Water Ball off into the Garchomp. The next turn, I kind of want to see... I could go Incineroar. I don't know if they're going to try to reach a Terra. Jeez, that does so much damage. Into Incineroar we go. Into a Weather Ball we go. I don't know. Murkrow's going to go for a Taunt into Pelipper. That can make a lot of sense here. A little bit worried about like double ups here into Pelipper with Rock Slide. Dragon Claw I'm not too scared of. But there also could be an attack into the Incineroar slot for the ground type move instead of a Dragon Claw, raiding a Terra or the Incineroar switch. It is clear aim in the Garchomp. That's not too surprising. Gonna be Protect on Garchomp is fine. All right. You're not really getting too much mileage. We're gonna see Taunt. Yeah, so they want to deny Tailwind. Okay, works out. Weather Ball on the Garchomp. I kind of just want to... I think Fake Out Weather Ball is just always safe. I could also Fake Out Hurricane. Actually, I think I want to Fake Out the Garchomp and just Weather Ball. Do I want to Weather Ball to Murkrow? How many turns of Tailwind did I have left? 2. Because if I give it a Murkrow, they can't set up Tailwind again. And Garchomp's a threat or threatened here. You know what? I'm just going to Weather Ball. They switched out to Garchomp. All right. I was about to say if that was in a Rotom, I would have been mad, but Hydreigon makes sense here. Okay, I like this because I get at least a Weather Ball off into the Murkrow, which is good. Although, can I beat the Garchomp endgame? Weather Ball does a lot. Should be like a Dark Pulse into the Pelipper. I think my play is always to knock off the Murkrow. And unfortunately, I will probably have to let Pelipper go down here. I can't really see a angle here where I can risk a Draco Meteor or anything, which is fine. Although not ideal because they have like faster threats. They go straight for the Draco Meteor actually into the Pelipper. Okay. So Pelipper goes down. I feel like they probably foul played the Incin to cover for like a Mint Switch. I hope knockoff KOs the Murkrow. I can't let Tailwind go up again. Okay, nice. All right. If this Hydreigon is Scarf, this is problematic. If it's anything else, we should be fine. He can't Terra. We go out into Salamence. Garchomp comes in. I think a lot of this is just going to come down to protect mind games between my Salamence and their Garchomp, because it's like, okay, Salamence can protect. You can protect your Garchomp to scout for the attack. Just awkward. I think I'm going to go for my Terra Ghost and knock off the... I might have to go for an Outrage endgame, which is the silly part. I have defense on the Incineroar, but I don't think we're living the combination of Draco Meteor ground type move. I think I'm going to knock off the Garchomp Protect. I have to get this right. Let's see. They stayed in with the Hydreigon. There is a chance they doubled here. The problem is next turn, A, it depends on A if you're Scarf on the Hydreigon, and B, does Outrage hit the right target? But I have to get this mind game right too. Does the Garchomp Protect? It didn't look like it because Silence Protect, unless it's Adamant Garchomp. He went for Rock Slide. Okay. They went for Draco and Rock Slide. I guess they want to cover for the Terra because they could, Okay, we didn't flinch. I think they want to try to flinch the Salamence there. Okay, that is good. That's really good. Just one more Salamence. Just one more. One more Salamence. Their Amulet. Rain stops, which is actually ideal. Rodon comes in. Okay. We go for Outrage here with Salamence. We're max speed Salamence. We outspeed Hydreigon. Comes down to the targets, baby. It comes down to targets. We're going for Flare Blitz. We're going for Outrage. The reason for Flare Blitzing is because if we hit the Rotom, we need to make sure the Hydreigon can't get knocked off if it is choice locked, because then it is able to hit my Incineroar Dark Pulse. And I think that's, I'd rather have Draco Meteor in that situation. They didn't even know if I had a Dragon move on Salamence and what the Dragon move was. I think they didn't recognize there was a win con for them. But you know what? We'll just say the Outrage hit the Hydreigon, because you know what? That's how Salamence does it, baby. All right, a very heavily committed Rain team. Salamence, Pelipper, Rillaboom, Palafin, Archaludon, and Dreadnought. Now, their own Salamence is actually kind of terrifying. Archaludon's a pretty big threat. Yeah, I mean, just multiple threats. I'm not too worried about Palafin. Incineroar, think it's not that great here. Golden Go, it's nice for the Archaludon, but I don't think I need it for anything else. I really do like my own Archaludon here. I think having Archaludon plus Meowscarada is pretty good. It's either Archaludon, Meowscarada, or Archaludon plus Pelipper lead wise. I kind of like the Meowscarada. I have Pelipper in the back and Salamence, I think. The only problem is I'm not bringing Intimidation to this matchup, so it makes playing around a few of the threats a bit trickier. Specifically if the Dreadnought has a surprise attack for the Archaludon. But otherwise, I think these are the right mons. I like having the water resist, which is pretty important to me. Outrage from my Salamence could come into play because they don't exactly have a resist. So a lot of this, I think, might be Archaludon stacking. And one thing that I have on my team, knockoff on the Meowscarada is really nice to up against Archaludon. We're gonna see Dreadnought Pelipper. Okay. All right. I'm not too worried about the Dreadnought for my Archaludon. I am scared of the Meowscarada. What's my speed on Archaludon again? I'm not faster than the Pelipper. Okay. Something I do have to note. Pelipper is like the most least useful mon, I think, in this. I think I'm just going to go for Electro Shot into the Pelipper, and I'm going to U-turn into Pelipper as well. All right, Rock Slide. We're going to play this game. Not much stamina boost. Okay. They tailwinded. That's better for me, at least. There's no way. Come on, man. Come on. Are you serious? I'm going Pelipper and I'm going for Electroshock. You can't be serious, man. Double flinch immediately. I guess I could let Pelipper and click Wide Guard. Sure. I was like, okay, I could kind of flinch with Arcaludon if I get the U-turn because I pivot to safety for my Meowscarada. If I flinch with Meowscarada and they do that, at least I get the Electroshock so I could lock in the Sucker Punch the next turn. All right. At least they're giving me the boost with Arcaludon. With stamina. Hurricane. I'm gonna be real. We need to hit this one. This game's a joke. This game's an absolute joke. I need to hit the Pelipper. You can't be serious. 3 flinches. You know what? Reg H sucks. Let's bring back Urshifu already. Urshifu allowed this BS to die. It at least didn't allow Rock Slide to screw up this many games. Alright. I don't have a defensive Terra. I think I have to go for a Double Protect the following turn. We finally hit Dreer. Okay, it's not 4 for 4. Okay. Get the KO into Pelipper. If not, bring it to Focus Sash. It wasn't even Focus Sash. This would have changed a lot if I had hit one of the Electro shots earlier. But maybe it gave them a free switch and would have made it awkward. I have no clue. Let's see who they bring out next. Could be a Salamence. Could be their own Arcaludon, I suppose. I could have been like a plus multiple Arcaludon at this point. Their Arcaludon's going to show up. I have Terra Fairy, but I really don't want a Terra. Which is a Rain? Well, it's probably Damp Rock, I'd assume. So I think I actually have to KO the Arcaludon, which is not pleasant, but... Electro Shot. I'm going for a Double Protect because I don't want to give Arcaludon any boost on their side. I really don't want to give him any boosts. Okay, we see a Terra on their side, which is interesting. It's Arcaludon, alright. Terra Dragon. That actually kind of helps me. Because now you're actually vulnerable to Outrage. Alright, Double Protect fails. They had Ice Spinner and decided to click Rock Slide a bunch. I guess maybe fearing Focus Sash or Protect on Meowscarada. Wait, does this KO? I didn't think about the extra power. Okay, it did not. I don't think I win though. I'd be shocked if I could win this, but I don't think it's likely. If I had Play Rough on Meowscarada, maybe. But this was just silly. Electroshock gonna come out into the Dreadnought. Pick up the knock on Dreadnought. Maybe I could cheese them because I have Terra Fairy and I could cheese the Arcaludon on their side. That's like the only hope I could see. Meowscarada. Salamence is that last. Yep. It has Intimidate. I think I have to be faster. I have to hope they don't Hurricane Arcaludon and I Draco Meteor their Arcaludon and I go for a knockoff into the Salamence. I don't know if there's Scarf. Their specs. Knockoff is actually kind of huge. But we'll see. Come on, Arcaludon. I have no idea what their Arcaludon set is, but probably Assault Vest, I would assume. If they had went for a... I don't think I could have Terra the last turn either. Unless I knew that they were going to go for it and I Draco Meteored them, because otherwise I would have probably had to go for like a Draco Meteor in their slot, and then I'm still weak to the Salamence. Let's see. All right. Here comes a knockoff. It's not Scarf on the Salamence. Gets rid of the Life Orb. I went for Draco Meteor into my Arcana. Please be faster. Please be faster. Please be faster. Let's go. I think Life Orb. Oh, I guess if they were expecting to knock off Hurricane, might not have KO'd. Well, I had to Terra Fairy, but if I didn't Terra, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea how that count goes. I'm just gonna say, let's freaking go. Arcalodon, Meowscarada clutching it up. Knock off again. I was about to say, there's no way I lose to Hyper Voice there. Why are you Hyper Voice? I don't know. Goodbye, Salamence. Oh my goodness. Maybe we should still go back to Reg G. Urshifu seems like a more balanced Pokemon. I didn't lose to Rock Slide Flint, just like I would have. Well, I didn't lose, I guess. But oh my goodness, I did not think that was actually a winnable. I did not. But they did make the mistake, I guess, saving the Terra for the right time. Ended up clutching it up. All right, let's go to games. In game one, didn't expect my opponent to allow me to knock out the Farigiraf turn one, but that knockout denied Trick Room, so I was able to outspeed and threaten my opponent's slow Pokemon. In game two, turn one could have not gone more perfectly, as I was able to charge the Electro Shot and knock out a Moongus without taking any damage. Meowscarada was then able to outspeed and threaten the Terra Ground Garchomp and Primarina remaining. In game 3, solid early damage into the Terra Rotom Wash, but forgot that Meowscarada did not resist foul play and ended up losing it. I was able to get a mind game right versus the Garchomp for the knockout, but could have come down to an outraged coin flip. However, my opponent just surprisingly forfeited. In game 4, 3 Rock Slide flinches in a row, and had to go for a misplay for my opponent in the endgame, which they did, so I was able to come back from a very bleak spot. Overall, I think Meowscarada has a lot of potential, mainly because having that speed tier, the speed tiers have gotten really strange just because of all the Pokemon removed in the format. And no surprise, there are a lot of broken Pokemon. Golden Go, Arcalodon, Pelipper. I think these Pokemon are absolutely insane in this format. The limited amount of electric coverage there is out there, other than the Electro Shot, really, because the electric types really were like Raging Bolt, Iron Hands, which are our Pokemon that got removed. Arcalodon, Golden Go seem absolutely insane in this format. And then Salamence, pretty strong pairing. I think having a good speed tier and being able to have that coverage, which is really nice, the flying and the dragon, just outspeeding a lot of things, able to threaten quite a bit, seems really nice. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below. If you'd like to try out the rental code, make sure you grab it while you can, because it's only available for a very short limited amount of time. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.